home game for your hometown team. Do you have a big crowd coming out for you?
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I think for me, I've had friends here and there, randomly just kind of text me, "Hey, coming to the game, looking forward to it." My parents are on vacation. They planned this trip 3 years ago, so um they did not anticipate this, so they will not be watching. But yeah, there'll be friends there and familiar faces, and just looking forward to the whole atmosphere of it.
You're settling in, what, a weekend now? How do you feel like you're getting used to the team? And, Eric was talking about you maybe doing offense a little bit better. Like, how's that learning curve been?
Yeah, there's definitely been like a learning curve. Still trying to get my feet underneath me, but definitely just giving myself some grace with it because, kind of just throwing me in it and been, watching film and learning scout and just trying to catch up as best I can and just trying to take in the moment and the opportunity.
Do you remember what checked in for the first time and when you made your bucket, or did you kind of black all that out?
Oh, I mean, you definitely got to take it in and remember it. Yeah, I remember end of the first quarter, coach called my name and kind of took me by surprise. I was like, "Oh, okay, let's do it." I remember checking in and sometimes when you like come in off the bench your first time, you get like kind of like nervous tired in a way. And so I remember kind of just like trying to catch my breath and calm my breath too. And yeah, that shot when it went in, I was kind of just like a big relief, like, okay, it's happened and let's just play ball now.
I know you had friends go to the hurricane.
Mhm.
With it being a home game, were there any additional nerves being here at home, knowing that you're gonna have a lot of friends and the attendance?
Yeah, I think for me, whenever, I have familiar faces in the crowd and it's kind of a comforting thing, helps me calm down and just I've been playing in front of them my whole life and they've been supporting me my whole life and but I'm not gonna try and make the moment bigger than what it is. I'm obviously gonna love being able to play at home and in front of everyone. But when I step on the court, I'm just focused on what's between the lines.
Being here, is there anything that maybe is different than how you envisioned? Like, oh, I didn't expect this to happen or this to go this way, whether it may be like the routine, training, interacting with coaches. Is there anything that maybe stands out to you?
I mean, I think just from my experience being a rookie so far, if there's one thing, you can't have any expectations going into things. So for me, I've just kind of been staying in the present moment, and taking things as they come. But in terms of routine, right, like taking care of my body, getting shots up, that kind of stuff is as, what I expected. But everything else, it's really just, learning as I go, right? So, whatever happens, I just kind of go with the flow and play it by ear.
Who on the team maybe have you gotten to know a little bit more, you feel more connected with, that you enjoy their company? Of course, you enjoy everyone's company, but like maybe more than the rest.
I mean, I would say like definitely the funniest of all of them, the one that's made me laugh a lot. I mean, Maisha, she's kind of like the goofball and I appreciate her for that. I remember it was like the first week or first like couple days after the first practice, I mentioned to Maya how like back in 2017 in the summertime, I went really early to a Mystics game and I saw Elena, warming up and before going to the tunnel, I was like, "Hey, E, like, can I get a picture with you?" And I got a picture. And I still have it obviously for memory and been showing friends and just kind of laughing about it. And I showed Mai, and then I guess maybe they took a picture and sent it to like a group chat. And then the next day, Mai was like, "E, Abby, come here." And so she kind of had me and like Elena come together and she's like, "Hey, shake hands, like, let's recreate this." We haven't recreated it yet, but she kind of like makes things fun, awkward, weird, but like that's how I appreciate that. It's real, it's authentic. And yeah, so she's definitely the goofball, which I appreciate. Yeah.
What's the backstory with the shoes from Tosh?
Oh, I mean, not much of a backstory. Like she obviously with Converse has so many shoes and I told her, she was like, "What size are you?" I'm like, 9.5. She's like, "Wow, that's literally perfect." She has so many Converse shoes just hanging up in the I guess, just like the gear, like, back in the boxes and boxes of stuff. And so yeah, I was like, "I've been looking at the shoes and they're really nice." She's like, "Yeah, take whatever ones you want." And yeah, so that's what I did after practice. There was like a good selection that I had and it took me a while, but yeah, I mean, I like it was like a plants nature type theme for the shoes, so I took it and appreciate her for that. Now I know, I mean, I mentioned it, but I heard like, I guess that they gave those out at the beginning of the season. So it would kind of like in a big year order. So I don't know if it's like right that I ask for them now, but hey, I'm more than happy to buy them and have her sign them for me and, nice little memento. Yeah. Thank you.
Any more in-person questions?
There's no questions on Zoom. So if there's no more in-person questions, you're good.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Abby.
All right.
What's up, man?
Eric was talking yesterday about how your out guys play a little bit differently on both ends. 'Cause, Eric plays her.
Right.
How does that impact you individually?
I mean, I don't have my buddy in pick and rolls, it's fun playing with Kira, and it's fun to watch as much as it's fun to play. So having her out there and she's like getting double doubles, and not by accident, she's putting in the work, but it's just like so effortless for her, and you're gonna miss that on the court with that much effort that she puts in on both ends of the floor. But the next man up, we have pieces on this team to where if somebody were to go down like Kira did, the next person is coming up and ready to play, wherever it may be.
And I know that, this is her first injury as a pro. You've been through injuries before.
Mhm.
Have you given her any advice or what advice would you give her?
Oh yeah, I mean, we talk, and my biggest thing I tell her is just take your time and just, go through the process however you need to, but there is no rush. This is your first, so you're going to learn a lot through it, and just to stay the course and give herself some grace on, just learning that get back.
And then going back to the New York game,
Mhm.
for you, like how much fun is it when you and Ariel and Tosh are all kind of rolling at the same time?
I mean, it's a lot of fun. There'd be possessions where we're scrambling on the court and we're just passing players off to each other because we just know how to flow within the defense to just make sure that we're staying a core unit. So it's a lot of fun. I can't express it. It's just one of those feelings where it's like I always say, like I got to the left and to the right of me, like I know that somebody has my back on defense. It is fun. It's tiring, but it's fun.
So you talked about the flow on defense that you have.
Mhm.
So Shakira's not here tonight.
Yeah.
How much does that change the defense then, knowing that your rim protector's not there, someone who's maybe not as versatile as Shakira is, at being able to switch appropriately? How do things change in that situation?
I don't think things change too much. To be honest, I mean, we have tremendous defensive capabilities in Maisha and TT, and we're able to switch with them. They're able to guard the guards, and Amanda as well. Like we have pieces where we're still able to switch across the board, and it honestly allows us to have a big lineup, but a more mobile lineup too around the perimeter. So I mean, it sucks that that Kira's not there with us, but at the same time, we also have the people that we need to have to be able to sustain, while she's out. Yeah. Mhm.
What is the responsibility to think? How do you turn the page?
I mean, we keep building, and that's what we always say. Like every game is a building block towards what we're becoming during this season. And like the defensive abilities, the offense that we had, there were so many moments in that game where, yeah, we would, like bow our head or something because we were upset, but at the same time, there was a lot of moments in that game where we were like, hell yeah, like this is Mystics basketball. This is what we want to do. This is how we want to defend the ball. With the shot clocks and just flying around and getting them to take a bad shot. That's the stuff we look at, and you got to go, hey, next one. So we didn't hang our heads too long, and we knew what we had to do to get it done. And we had a talk after the game in the locker room, just the players, and we all came to an agreement on what our standard is and how we need to come against every team.
Like being in that environment. What does that do for your confidence in terms of like you guys right there on the court in that environment? What was the environment like? What was the experience?
I mean, we're an elite team.
Yeah.
So it was like we're playing another elite team. That's going to be a hell of a game. You know, as we play Mrs. Basketball, they play New York basketball, and we knew that that is a team that can be a potential contender. This is a team that, you know, they did their homework. We played them before. We played a tremendous game against them in our gym. So why wouldn't we expect that, you know, going to New York? So I mean, it was one of those things where if you're a competitor, you show up that night. And if you don't, then hey, you missed a hell of a game.
I forget which game it was, but there was a game where Abby comes in, she gets a foul pretty quick, and I remember seeing you just come and grab her and get in her ear. And I'm curious, like, since she's been here,
Mhm.
How you've kind of mentored her, or what you kind of try to tell her.
Shoot the
and-
ball. That's literally what I get on her about. At Chicago game and then the New York game. New York game, she shot it. And we joked about it. But in that Chicago game, it was like 2 times that they helped off of her. Pass it to her, like all she had to do was just put it up and she put it on the floor. Granted, yes, it was still, you know, solid decision, but I'm like, hey, I need you to shoot that thing. And not because like, oh, you're a shooter, but more so it's like that's the shot that we're supposed to take. And you're on this team for a reason. We have the utmost confidence that you hit that shot. So that's what we need you to do. Because it's like once we give up that shot, now we're kind of in a disarray because we don't know where that next shot is coming from. So, you know, the New York game, she came off the pin down and shot it. And I looked and I was like, hey, I can live with it. You know, because she got to have confidence in herself. Like she's just as much as a scoring threat as anybody else on this team. And I just told her, like, you have to have that mentality to where if somebody's going to back off you that much, you have to make them respect you. Like you got to see that as a disrespect of like, why the heck would you leave me that open? So
One more for me real quick, just as you prepare to play Atlanta, you know, what have you seen from this duo that we have here, Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard, and how much fun is like that kind of challenge for you?
I mean, Ryan's a young guard who's an amazing talent. Leash, we were in the same draft class, so it was always fun to play against her as a competitor and as a friend. But them two together, it's something pretty cool to see. You have somebody on the perimeter who can handle the ball, so can Leash, but then Leash is a tremendous slasher. So it's a hell of a combo to guard because you have to be accountable on both ends of the floor. One's a righty, one's a lefty. So it's like you don't really have a break on the offensive end, depending on where they are on the court. No problem.
Who's the biggest-
Say that one more time.
You guys, like, so you guys continue to start winning, like, keep confidence. Like, where do you think the biggest improvements in the season go down?
I think our poise, handling when teams go on runs and being able to sustain that punch and punch back and try to figure it out, whether it's a win or loss. There's always a moment where we have a choice and we continue to make that choice of wanting to fight and figure it out. So that allows us to grow in that area. And I'm really proud of us for that.
How does Shakira being out change your defensive role? Are you gonna be more playing? Maybe. Oh, you gotta be dropping down.
No, I mean, like I said before, we have Tiana, we have Amanda, we have Maisha. If I'm forgetting somebody, we have people. I mean, yes, we can switch 1 through 4 for sure, but me going to play the 4, literally no. I mean, ask Eric, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna say no. So yeah, I'll stick to my, guard duties, and if I have to magically play the floor, then I'll make sure to come and tip my hat to you. That's a funny one. Exactly. So she can have it. She got bigger size than me. We good?
Any other in-person questions? I think we're good then. Thanks,
All
Lim.
right. Thank you guys.
The latest that you can tell us about potential other hardship player,
Working on it, but can't say anything yet until some things are done.
but still interested in it.
Yes.
Should I bother asking you about a starting lineup?
Nope. I'm gonna wait until I have to.
How about, are you expecting to start like 2 front court players, or might you go a little smaller at times?
I'll be one of the bigs.
You know, you mentioned yesterday, like wanting to space the floor, with Sally and Aisha. But all 3 of them have kind of struggled from 3 so far to start the season. So do you just have faith that those are gonna drop, or do you like adjust to try to get them a little bit different shots in space?
I mean, I'm hoping it just with a little bit more time and minutes and confidence, you see a couple go in, it'll change. That's kind of happened with our guard group. Each of them in different ways has played with a little bit more confidence the last few games. The same can happen with the post group shooting the ball, but all three of those players that you mentioned can also do other things besides just stand still and shoot. You know, I think sometimes a hard roll that, you know, a catch and a finish can sometimes get your confidence going too and makes the shooting easier. You know, no player on our team should define themselves only by their shooting. It has to be more than that.
In Atlanta, you know, Alicia Gray coming into that mix, like, what have you seen from her as far as like how she fits into that offense?
Yeah, I mean, I think she fits probably into any offense, to be honest with you. The way she can get out and transition is the biggest thing. You know, she can get you 6-8 easy points without having to call a play for her, just by running out, throwing it ahead, attacking the rim, and getting to the foul line. So, you know, when you kind of game planning for her, that's where it starts. But it's always hard to guard a team that's got dynamic scorers on both wings, and that's what they've got. It's a good combination. And so, you know, you have to prepare for both sides of the court.
That's fun for me. You mentioned after Abby's debut how you told her to be aggressive. Anything else in particular that you've been kind of in her ear about while she's been here?
I think most of the effort is just trying to get her up to speed, you know, defensively, making sure she knows coverages and terminology. You're kind of going through your checklist of like, okay, what have we covered? What do we need to do for her different from the group that's been here? So that's where it's nice to have a good staff that takes care of a lot of those things.
Eric,
Hey.
obviously you don't want to be in a situation not having Shakira, but from maybe like a roster standpoint of you having to make decisions as a coach, I mean, that may be something that you might look forward to, kind of the chess game of like figuring out what are we going to do in this situation? Because I mean, starting five, I mean, that's been pretty obvious throughout the season of like put the best stuff out there, but now it gets a little bit more nuanced. So is that something that maybe energizes you or gets you excited about having to make those decisions?
I don't know. I'd rather have Shakira, but it would. I think what it does is I'm excited to see if some of our other ones take the challenge, you know, the next few weeks. So we brought every one of them here for a reason. You know, after we traded for Zowie, we brought, everybody knows the camp Tiana have. Maisha's been here. Those guys are going to start playing well, and so I'm excited to watch that happen now as they get some more opportunity.
Maybe from like your perspective as a coach of playing the mental chess that is, because you have to do that in numerous areas.
Yeah. I don't know if it's more exciting. I mean, I kind of do that in some form or fashion most games. So we certainly maybe have to think about it a little bit more, but I don't know. I'm excited to do my job most days, so that's fine. Yeah.
Can you talk about some of the yes, some of the yeah, personnel. Your perspective on like challenge that
I mean, I think I said yesterday with the group that was here that that combination of mobility and rim protection is just hard to find. Like there's not that many people in the league like her. So we have to do it a little bit different way. That's actually probably what I get excited and interested about is how can we problem solve around that thing. So you might see some different things from us defensively. The offense will look a little bit different in terms of how the floor is spaced and some tweaks we make on some sets. I will not disclose all of those tweaks for the general public, but yeah, I mean, I told the group yesterday, no one person's job is to replace her. We have to do it together, and everybody's got to be on point.
your biggest positive takeaway?
Talking about the New York game. I mean, once again, a good start. I thought we went up there, tough road game, big crowd, and came out exactly the way you'd want. I thought we held our poise for most of the game and didn't make a couple plays at the end, and they made a couple plays and we lost the game, but I didn't think it's because we were rattled or panicked or anything like that. I like the demeanor of our team in a game like that and the way we went there and took the challenge.
The injuries kind of like your head, but what does that do in terms of building out, in terms of overcoming adversity and stuff like that?
Yep, it's you can kind of either get down about it and complain about it, or you can rise to the challenge. And I think we're not the only team in the league going through it. we haven't felt sorry for other teams we've played, and they're not gonna feel sorry for us, so we just gotta go be the best version of ourselves we can be.
Team like Atlanta loves to fun.
Mm.
Without pressure that you hear. How does that change your kind of approach to containing their pace and also allowing yourself to adapt?
Transition defense has been a thing for us since the start of the year, and we've been pretty good at it for the most part. And, it's probably heightened against a team like them and the way they can push it. And, you don't have the safety blanket of Shakira back there, so you can't afford breakdowns in coverage. You can't afford to buddy run in transition and, hope your teammate covers that side and I'm going to just run next to mine. So if it heightens the focus in a few areas like that, playing a team like Atlanta, then that'll be good for us.
And I'm sure you have much to say for them, but what you've seen from their young players, obviously very young team like Howard, has anything stuck out from the scouting process to now in terms of what's changed?
I think Ryan, you can see where Ryan's tried to round out her game, more aggressive, putting the ball on the floor. Haley has, I kind of had suspicions of her being a point guard in our league, but still with a young player who that's not, she was more of a kind of a point forward on this, in college, and she's handled that role pretty well without a lot of reps at it. So trying to think there are other young ones. Letitia is like a live wire every time she comes in the game, and you can see what they saw in both those players in the draft for sure.